Let's talk. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this edition of Let's Talk. Today, we're going to talk about the SAG AFTRA strike. Now, the writer's strike ended probably around a month ago, maybe a few weeks ago, but the SAG AFTRA strike ended a few days ago. And I was looking up the details of what the deal entailed. What did we get out of this as actors? What did we get out of this, truly? And when I looked at when I looked at what was being discussed, what the deal entailed, I started to think, this is all useless. This is really pointless. We really truly didn't get a whole lot. So, like I said last talk when I talked about this topic, what was the most important probably is AI and what AI means as an actor, as a background actor especially, as well as what they were asking for, such as increased pay, as well as compensation and better work conditions. That is everything that I want to discuss. But let's talk about the most important thing, what this whole thing was really about, which was AI. For those of you who don't know, AI was being used without anybody's real consent or knowledge. Before this whole strike thing was going on, people were getting body scanned as background actors. They were getting body scanned for some reason, and they weren't called in for more work. What happens is you get hired as a background actor, and you either show up for one day of work or show up for multiple days of work whenever they need you. I once did background work for film Bullet Train, and I was in there for 3 days as three different background characters. And the thought of those 3 days being reduced to 1 day and just getting a body scan done was kind of annoying, because I would have gotten 3 times less than what I got paid, and I would have spent less time on set, would have seen less, especially with that was my real inner workings of a Hollywood film. That was my real inside look on how a Hollywood film works. And the more time I spent on that set, the more I started to understand, okay, this is how it works. This is how the actors behave on set. This is how most people behave on set. So it's extremely professional. And I would not have gotten that experience if they body scanned me and used my likeness rather than myself for those 3 days. So I understand as an actor why that's important. However, now as a businessman, entrepreneur, I can see the benefits of using AI. You don't have to herd people into a place. You don't have to get costumes on them. You don't have to use time and money to get them somewhere quick, like just deal with people, essentially, which takes time. And time is very, very important on a set, because if you do not stick with a schedule, your shoot can go on for hours. Most shoots happen 14 hours, 15-hour days sometimes. And the more time you spend, the more people are going to be cranky. People are not going to be happy on set. You're going to get lackluster work, and you're not going to get the things you need to get done on that day so that you can shoot the next day. People have a plan when they shoot stuff. So I understand why AI would be very effective and a preferred method, especially for background actors, because you just send them in, they're just in the back. When you watch Bullet Train, you will not see my face, even though I can point out to you the characters that I played in the background. I guarantee you cannot see my face, because it's either very blurred or you just see the back of my head. That's it. So why not use AI? It's more effective. You don't have to, and what the practice is, you don't have to pay them. You just have to pay them for 1 day. You don't have to pay them. It saves money. It saves time. It's a huge thing. So on a business sense, I understand why AI is important. why AI would save time, save money. It's great for business. However, it's awful for actors. It's awful for background actors, people that make their money doing background work. So I can understand both sides of the argument, just like I said in my SAG AFTRA video. So, that being said, what's the deal? What deal did they come to? So, when I read up on the deal, I don't know if this is correct or not. I've read multiple websites that gave me the same information, so I can only assume that this is correct. But protection from AI is now with consent. So you have to consent to getting body scanned and used as an AI background person. And you can also, as an actor, negotiate the price of your image. How many times are they going to use it? These are important questions to ask when you are at the negotiating table and they're saying, hey, we want to body scan you, want to use AI for the background. Understand, at the negotiating table, your likeness is being used. You are not being used. So why should you get paid for being on set? Why should you get paid the same rates, So the protection that from AI is now they have to ask for your consent, and it is only per project. My worries about this, this is not bad. This is not a bad thing. This is a good deal for the actors. My issue with this is there are plenty of practices because they have not released the deal, so we don't know the specifics of the deal. But my concern for the actor is, how do we know that they are going to stick with that deal? How do we know they are going to not use my likeness in another project? That is the primary concern that I have, because especially as a businessman, the more I'm learning about business, the more I'm starting to realize the practices of business to try and get the best deal, to try and work your way around a contract to essentially get what you want. So what are the workarounds? How do you as a businessman, I'm thinking about it as a businessman, how do you work around this new deal to still get what you want and still be within the realms of the rules, so that you don't break the rules, so you don't break the union rules? So because I don't know the full contract, I don't know if there are any loopholes behind getting consent and then it's only once per project. I want to know what the deal actually says, so that if there are if I can lawyer up a little bit and see, all right, what are the loopholes? How would a businessman, aka the producers, the directors, whoever's in charge of this project, how will we get around that? How can we still use AI to our advantage while limiting the amount of money we're losing by limiting the amount of money we're losing to this actor that is asking for negotiations? So that's my main concern is for the actors, is what are because I don't know the specifics of the deal, because they're not releasing the deal details. I don't know what the loopholes are going to be. So I'm still a little skeptical about doing background work. Plus, it's not my really preferred method of acting. It's a good way to get experience to see what a set is like. And sometimes background people get lucky. Sometimes they need people to say lines in the background. So you can end up getting a better contract off of that. However, it's still something that is I'm still a little skeptical about, because AI is the future. I use AI with my business. So how are you going to, that's what my main concern is, what are the loopholes? So I'm still semi-skeptical, but it is a big win for actors, background actors especially, for this AI protection. But I'm still remaining a little bit of a skeptic to see, this isn't the last time that shady business practices are handled. And shady as they may be, if they can find a loophole and make it legal, And it's the fault of the people that made the deal for not making it bulletproof. So, that being said, let's move on to past AI. There are now deals, so the deal promised bigger compensation. They promised more compensation for background work, more compensation for, more compensation for dancers that sing and singers that dance. They're going to pay them both they're going to pay them all as dancers and singers, so they get the wage increase. Background actors get a wage increase, and you're going to get hair and makeup. The more people in the hair and makeup field are going to be hired, which is a great thing. It's great for the actor. Like, this deal is great for the actor. However, I'm looking at, on a business side, what are the loopholes around it? How can I get the loopholes to work around this? Because there's not much protecting the business side, I guess. Like, how does the business benefit off of this deal, other than getting people back to work, obviously? I still have this pessimistic view of it because I know what business is like. So I'm curious to see how they're going to try and loophole this. Also, wage increases don't really matter, in my opinion. Wage increases just call me. I don't believe wage increases are good. I really don't. I think what's more important is making your current wages actually worth something and not increasing it. You know, if something is worth $40 and you only have $20, but if you work 2 days, you can get that $40 thing, and suddenly the price raises to $60, you're still getting paid $20. You want to make sure, you don't want to change the amount of money you get. You want to change the amount of money that's worth. Because the more money that you throw out there, the more expensive things are going to be, and then you're going to ask for higher wages, and then things are going to be more expensive, and then you're going to ask for higher wages, and then things are going to get more expensive, and you're going to ask higher wages. That's inflation. So instead of raising wages, what I prefer is lowering inflation. That's the main concern, because people are going to print money. It's happening right now. People are just printing money. So wage increases, to me, it's not a huge victory. I don't think, personally, I don't think wage increases are a huge victory. I would rather have my $20 be worth more than get $40 and have it be worth the same as $20 like a few years ago because of inflation. So yeah, that's not a huge win in my opinion, because while it is nice, in the long term it means nothing. In the long term it means nothing. It's pretty soon your wage increases aren't going to be enough for you to get by, just like the wages right now aren't enough for you to get by, if that's what you're struggling with. So the wage increase to me is meaningless, to be completely honest. However, more jobs for hair and makeup is great. Getting paid both as a singer and dancer, that's not bad. That's pretty great too. But the wage increases for background actors, the compensation for actors, it's all worrying to me, because the wage increase usually comes with things getting more expensive. Like your rent might get more expensive because of wage increase. Like it all flows. So it's not a huge win in my personal opinion. So other than that, I'm not sure what else. I'm not sure what else we got out of this deal. I still remain skeptical. I'm sure everybody else is touting this as a huge win, super revolutionary in the industry. But looking at it from both a business perspective and an actor's perspective, it's a small win for actors. Very small win. And for business, it just means, okay, how do I because the deal isn't out there, it's just details of the deal rather than the deal itself. Because the deal is not out there and I can't analyze the deal itself, I don't know if there are loopholes to work around that deal. So either way, the most important thing about this whole strike being over is that there's going to be more jobs, that the writers are back, the actors are back, more jobs are going to be out there, acting jobs, and people can get back to work finally. So actors are, what I've been seeing is the actors are happy about the deal. Businessmen, the producers, all those people that are in the business of the industry are, I mean, they're probably going to be happy about it too, because, you know, it's money-making time. It's money-making time. So I'm looking forward to seeing a bunch of auditions. I'm looking forward to seeing a bunch of callbacks and, you know, work continuing, which is what really mattered at the end of the day. This is a win for the actors. This is a win for the actors. I just wish there were more details about it. So I will remain skeptical. However, I am excited to get back to work. So, yeah, we'll see what the coming months will do. I'm gonna be keeping my eye out on the industry very closely, see what happens, how this deal will be implemented, see how this affects my life. I think that's very important, is how it affects you individually. If you're watching this and you're an actor, how does this affect you individually? Are you going to get paid more? That's great. But is your rent going to increase? Are the things that you are going to buy increasing? Is that wage increase not going to be enough anymore? That's the effects of inflation. But that's what you need to analyze. You need to analyze, like, okay, what am I actually getting out of this deal personally as an individual? And the best thing you are getting as an actor, the best thing you are getting out of this deal is that the strike is over and jobs are going to go on. You can continue doing your acting thing. That's the most important part of, personally, the most important part of the strike being over, is that finally people can get back to work because there's going to be more opportunities. So, that being said, everybody out there who's this affects, I'm very happy for you. I'm very happy to see that there's going to be more jobs. When I look at my casting page, I'm happy to see that it isn't just going to be one page and then the next page is stuff I've already seen yesterday. I'm going to be happy about that. So, yeah, I think the biggest win is just finally getting back to work. So, that's all I got for this Let's Talk. We'll see what the deal if this deal holds up, if this is really good for the actor or not, if nothing's changed. But either way, all we could do is just sit there, keep doing our work, see how it changes. If it does, great. If it doesn't, well, at least we're working. But that was a fun Let's Talk. Let's do it again sometime.